Hey guys, Cartropolis TCG here. Today we have special guest Orion, who's going to do an expanded deck profile for the Pokemon trading card game. Today's deck, what is today's deck?
It is a ADP with Ultra Necrozma.
Nice.
There are a lot of variations of ADP and expanded, but this is one of my personal favorites.
Nice. What's like the general game plan of the deck?
So it's hit fast, hit hard. For very low energy costs that you can provide in one turn, you are hitting at maximum nearly 230 damage, knocking out any GX besides Tag Team in the current meta.
Nice. Okay, I guess we'll get started. What Pokemon, or how many of each Pokemon do we got?
Okay, so we have 4 Ultra Necrozma.
Okay.
It's a Dragon-type Pokemon, which was recently reintroduced to the Pokemon trading card game.
Yeah, because they were gone for a while.
Yeah. It has 110 health. It's an Ultra Beast. Its ability is Ultra Burst. This Pokemon can't attack unless your opponent has 2 or fewer prize cards remaining.
Okay.
So it comes in at the end of the game normally. Because we're playing it expanded, there are loads of options that you can use to shut that down.
So you basically play cards that get rid of that ability so you can still attack.
Exactly.
Nice. All right, what does the attack do?
Its attack is a very powerful. For 1 Psychic and 1 Metal, Luster of Downfall, 170 damage. Discard an energy from your opponent's active Pokemon.
Nice.
No drawbacks, just a very powerful low energy cost, and you're discarding energy from your opponent's active Pokemon.
And because of the ability that when they were making the card, that was the balance for it. But if you take away the ability, then it's just a straight up really powerful attack.
Exactly.
Nice.
Has a retreat cost of 2 and weakness to Fairy. The weakness to Fairy is irrelevant because you're playing to get 1 shot.
Yeah, kind of low HP. All right, what do we got next?
Next up is Remord. It's a basic Pokemon with 60 HP, a water type. We're using it to evolve into Octillery.
Do you ever attack with it?
No.
All right, then we won't bother. All right, what's next?
Octillery, stage 1. It's a water type Pokemon with 90 HP. Its ability, Abyssal Hand. Once during your turn before you attack, you may draw cards until you have 5 cards in your hand.
Okay. So it's kind of like a mini Crobat?
Okay. A mini Crobat, but you can do it every turn as long as it's on your bench.
Okay.
So if you have multiple of it, maybe if you have all 3 in play at the same time, you can drop till you have 5, play a couple cards, and draw until you have 5 again.
Yeah.
And it cycles through your deck over and over again.
And you can do that because it specifically does not say this ability.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It has an attack, does 40 damage, and they can't retreat. But
it's called Hug.
Yeah, it's Hug.
That's funny.
Not usable.
Okay. Yeah, you don't have enough energy in your deck to do it.
Yeah.
All right. What's next?
Marshadow. It is a basic Pokemon with 90 HP.
That's 80.
80, yes.
Close enough.
Sorry.
You're good.
It's a Psychic type Pokemon. Its ability is Resetting Hole. When you play it from your hand onto your bench, you can discard if it's on your bench, you can discard it, and then it'll discard the stadium in play.
Okay.
So if it's on your bench, you can discard it from play, and if you do so, it will discard a stadium card in play.
What kind of stadiums are you trying to target with that?
Definitely Chaotic Swell.
Okay.
Chaotic Swell, when they play it, bumps out your stadium, and then directly after that, if you try to play another one, it also discards that one. So you won't be able to attack that turn unless you're already losing.
Okay.
So you really want to be able to get rid of Chaotic Swell in order to play another Silent Labs.
Yeah.
Next up is Arceus, Dialga, and Palkia GX. It's a basic Pokemon with 280 hit points. It's a Dragon-type Pokemon. Its first attack is Ultimate Ray for 1 Water Energy, 1 Metal Energy, and 1 Colorless Energy. It does 150 damage, and you can search your deck for up to 3 basic energy and attach them to your bench Pokemon. Attach them to your Pokemon in any way you like.
You probably don't use that very often,
Yeah,
if at
you
all.
don't use it very often. You can, but you're not going to.
I don't see any
need to use
Pokemon
it
that you would
often.
put it on. You don't have another ADP. You don't have any Metal Energy. The Necrozma doesn't even use Water Energy to attack.
Yeah.
Like, you put it on a Remoraid.
You can.
I guess you could put it on something so you could pay the retreat cost.
Yeah.
Maybe.
But you're going to be using that not to accelerate.
Just for
but
damage.
After the move that we're about to talk about,
Okay.
if you boss up or Great Catcher or Dene,
Yeah. 180.
yeah, 180, it'll be one-shotting them, and you'll get an extra prize.
Okay.
Second attack for 1 Metal Energy, and then it says plus because it is a tag team Pokemon. It's Altered Creation. It's GX move. GX moves were introduced in Sun and Moon. They're moves that you can use once per game. And you have a token that you flip over, and that means that you can't use another GX move for the rest of the game. For the rest of the game, this Pokemon, all your Pokemon do 30 more damage, and if you have an extra water energy attached, you draw an extra prize for each Pokemon you knock out for the rest of the game as well.
Yeah, very powerful card. Dominated Standard for a long time.
Yes, it's going to be buffing your entire team for the eternity of the game.
Nice. So we kind of already talked about it before, but when you prize that card, are the games still winnable, or do you just kind of let it happen and just go to the next game?
Definitely still winnable. It's just a bonus in the overall consistency of the deck. It's just letting you draw more prize cards and finish off the game faster.
Yeah.
Doing more damage is a helpful bit, but
you can recycle your attackers enough.
yes.
Okay.
And the difference between 200 and 230 is not that great, and the Pokemon that you want to be KOing with that attack, you're KOing regardless.
Okay.
Next up, we have supporters. We have 4 supporters. We have 4 Guzma and Hala tag team supporters. Search your deck for a stadium card and put it into your hand. Shuffle for your deck afterwards. And then, once again with the tag team effect, if you do extra effects, you can get another card.
If you pay an extra cost, you get another effect.
Thank you. Well said. So when you play this card, you can also discard 2 cards, and you may also search your deck for a stadium or
for a tool and a special energy
and a special energy card. So just playing it, you'll get your Silent Lab, which will shut down all basic Pokemon abilities. You'll also get to grab a tool card. Maybe it's a Floatstone or a Choice Band if you want to do more damage. And then you'll get your Double Dragon Energy. Double Dragon Energy, we will get to that later.
Yeah, it's all good. But a lot of good targets for it.
Yes.
Yeah. I know in Standard, like, you would only play, like, 2 targets, maybe just 1 if you're being greedy. But it always felt bad to draw them before you could play the Guzma Hala. But based on, like, this list, it looks like there's a lot of targets, so you never really run out.
Yeah.
All right, so next up, we got items. We'll just kind of put them all together. There's, like, some tools mixed in there, but we'll just do them all together. We'll start with, like, the 4s, then go to the 2s, and then the 1s.
Okay, so we got 4 Choice Band. They're a Pokemon tool. When you use them on your Pokemon, you do 30 more damage to your opponent's EX and GX Pokemon.
Okay.
So more damage output.
Yeah. Has it ever? I know you've been talking about targeting the GX bench Pokemon and stuff. Has it been a problem not being able to target Vs, V Maxes, V Unions, stuff like that? Some of the new stuff that's come out.
No, not too much, because in Expanded, people really favor GX and EX still. I think they're the more dominant meta in Expanded currently. There are some good Vs and V Max, maybe even V Unions in Expanded, but
they still probably use like the GX Pokemon
like
in
the
addition to their
Dene
Vs and V Max. Okay.
And I was about to mention something else too. I'm sorry.
It's all good. It might come back. All right. So next up, we got 4 Trainer's Mail. What does Trainer's Mail do?
So Trainer's Mail, you can look at the top 4 cards of your deck, and you can put 1 trainer card you find there into your hand, and shuffle the rest of the cards back into your deck.
Okay.
Quite a few expanded decks play it.
It has a ton of consistency. It can grab a ton of things in your deck. Does it say grab a trainer or grab an item?
Grab a trainer. So
okay, so you can grab a Guzma Holo off
you can get a Guzma Holo, getting you Choice Band, Special Energy, and Stadium all at the same time.
Okay. What are you most likely to grab off Trainer's Mill? When you use it, like, what are you usually digging for the most?
So usually Guzma Holo.
Okay.
Maybe
because you only have 4.
Yeah. Or maybe an Ultra Ball in order to get Octilleries to draw back into a larger hand size.
Okay.
It definitely depends on the situation, though.
Yeah, of course.
So, you could have a dead hand and try to get an Ultra Ball so that you could Octillery for more cards. Or maybe you have a really good hand, but just no setup, so you want to go with Guzma Holo.
Alright, so next we got some, like, Pokemon Search, it looks like.
We got 4 Nest Ball. Search your deck for a basic Pokemon and put it on your bench.
Just any basic?
Yep, just any basic.
So it's quick ball without downside?
Yep,
okay.
Quick ball without having to discard anything.
Nice.
Next up is Ultra Ball. You can discard 2 cards from your hand to search your deck for any Pokemon. So, discarding 2 cards, you get any Pokemon in the deck. Usually going to use it to search out Octillery.
Because you can't grab Octillery off of the Nest
Exactly. But if you don't have any other search, you can get your Ultra Necrozma or ADP if you need it.
Does discarding anything offer you any value in this deck? Not as much?
Not particularly.
Okay. So not a ton of synergy with the discarding. You just kind of discard whatever you don't need at the time.
Exactly.
Okay. Okay, next up we got some 2s, it looks like. A lot of them.
Yeah. So, up first is Judge Whistle. It has
sweet.
2 effects that you can choose. One is just draw a card. So, you're making your deck effectively a 58-card deck, which adds a little bit more consistency to the deck. Its other effect, you can put a Judge card from the discard pile back into your hand, but that's not a card we're playing here, so we're just playing it solely for the draw 1 card.
Okay.
Up next is Rescue Stretcher, another card that that you can choose 2 effects for. One is putting a card from your discard pile into your hand.
Is it a Pokemon or item or anything?
Sorry. Putting a Pokemon from your discard pile into your hand. It can be any Pokemon, not just basics. So, you'll be wanting to get Ultra Necrozma if it's been knocked out and you don't have any immediate search. Or, its other effect is you can choose 3 Pokemon from your discard pile and shuffle them back into your deck. Okay, so if you're down a lot of Necrozmas or Remoraid's or something, you can shuffle them all back in. Okay. And that's usually helpful late game when you're starting to have less cards in your deck and you have more cards in your hand. You'll be able to search out those cards that you shuffle back at the same time as putting more cards back into your deck.
Nice. So you can use it to like anti-deck out yourself, kind of?
Yeah.
Cool. All right, what do we got next?
Up next we have Order Pad. Flip a coin. If heads, search your deck for an item card.
Okay, yeah. I used to play this in like Blastoise. Yeah. What's the difference between like this and Judge Whistle? Like, why the 2-2 split? Why not like 4 of one or the other?
Judge Whistle just draws 1 card off the top of your deck. Order Pad gives you a couple outs to winning games.
Okay.
But it's off of a flip. So that's why you play half and half, because you can't be totally reliant on either one.
Okay. What do we got next?
Up next from there is Great Catcher. You can discard 2 cards from your hand and choose one of your opponent's benched GX or EX Pokemon and switch it with their active Pokemon.
Okay, so again, you're targeting like Dedennes, Crobats, not Shamans anymore. RIP.
So supporting cards that they might be needing for the ability, that's what you'll use to get them into the active spot in order to KO them for a quick 2 or even 3 prize cards if you have ADP's effect in play.
Have you noticed? So I noticed you're not playing any Lysander or Guzma, just Guzma, to target anything on the bench. Has it ever been a problem to where you've needed to knock out like some sort of support thing similar to like Octillery, I guess, instead of like a Dedenne or a V Pokemon or something? Or not even V, GX or EX?
Not recently, but I feel that may be the case with more of these V Max, and V Union cards coming out.
Okay.
they might be starting to take over in expanded, but currently I think Great Catcher are still
Is good enough.
great.
Okay.
Another option that I might choose is to take out 2 Choice Band, or maybe even just 1, and replace them with Muscle Band, doing 20 more damage, but to anything.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
For V's or
V maxes, V union, stuff like that.
V maxes, V union, that you can't get the extra damage with Choice Band.
Okay.
Up next from there is Special Charge. Shuffle up to 2 special energy cards from your discard pile back into your deck.
Okay.
Since you can only play 4 of them, you want to be recycling them over and over and over
Yeah, for the
again.
double dragon energy that we'll get to in a second.
And maybe you have to discard them with effects like Ultra Ball or Guzma and Hala. So since they're your main energy in the deck, and the only one you'll be using on Ultra Necrozma, you'll want them consistently over and over again.
Yeah, it's like if you draw 3 in your opening hand, you can attach 1, and then you have to ditch the other 2 to whatever. Okay. Next up?
Next up, we have Floatstone. Floatstone, you can attach it to one of your Pokemon, and it gives them free retreat.
Okay.
So if you have an ADP or Archie-style Palkia, you in the active, after you use its attack, you can search out Floatstone with Guzma and Hala to give it free retreat, and you get a search for
the
a special energy.
Okay.
So you can go instantly into Ultra Necrozma.
Nice.
And that's all in one, that you're also getting the Silent Lab, so you can use
Yeah,
Ultra Necrozma.
that's pretty sweet that Guzma Hala gets all 3 pieces you need for the Ultra Necrozma. That's nice.
Up next is VS Seeker. We're only playing 2 VS Seeker. Put a supporter card from your discard pile into your hand. So if you have Trainer's Mail and you already have played a Guzma Hala before, but you need it again, you can, and you don't get a Guzma Hala, you can get VS Seeker, and VS Seeker will just let you get that Guzma Hala from your discard pile.
Yeah, okay.
We have
now into the
more
1-ofs?
items
Oh, still
over
2-ofs. Okay. Kind of.
We have 2 Pokegear 3.0. Look at the top 7 cards of your deck and put a supporter card you find there into your hand. Shuffle the rest of the cards back into your deck.
Okay.
So we're not playing too many of these since we only play 4 supporter cards.
It's kind of like Trainer's Mail 5 through 6. Yeah.
It's iffy though. Since you play such a little count of supporters, it's iffy, and that's why you don't play too many of them.
Because you just don't want to take the minus too often.
Exactly.
But also, using the Pokegear, grabbing the Guzma Hala means your Trainer's Mail can grab something else. Yeah, okay.
Maybe another crucial piece like Ultra Ball.
Nice.
Up next, we have 2 1-ofs. We have Escape Rope. Both players switch one of their bench Pokemon with the active Pokemon. Your opponent switches first. So, if you have an Archie-style Palkia on active, and you just use the attack, but you don't have any way to get a Floatstone, and you have Escape Rope in hand, maybe off of a Trainer's Mail, you can use it to switch into Ultra Necrozma, and then force your opponent to put up something that wasn't going to soak up the attack.
Maybe they didn't want to put it up necessarily.
Or maybe it was a setup Pokemon like Cresselia or Volcanion that's solely to set up the rest of the board state. Next up we have Field Blower. Field Blower, once during your turn, you can choose up to 2 Pokemon tool cards and stadium cards and discard them from play. So.
And you can mix and match.
You can mix and match.
So you can hit a stadium and a tool, or 2 tools, basically.
Exactly. And you can even discard them from your own, including your own. So
because I've noticed you have a lot of tools, which is good for Guzma Hala, but sometimes maybe you have a choice band. I don't know the scenario where you would have a choice band on a Necrozma and need to switch it out. I don't know.
It's going to come up eventually.
Yeah.
It's not optimal, but there's...
It's mostly for your opponent's stuff, not really for yours.
And especially Chaotic Swell, also what you play Marshadow for.
Yeah.
That's something you're going to be targeting with Field Blower.
I feel like hitting other people's, like, Fighting Fairy Belts, Floatstone stuff just be very good for you. All right, so next up we got stadiums.
Yep.
We've kind of talked about it before, but go ahead and talk about it some more.
So Silent Lab, each basic Pokemon in play and in each player's discard has no abilities. So It's shutting down your Ultra Necrozma's Ultra Burst so that you can attack with it whenever you want. And it's also shutting down your opponent's basic abilities.
Yeah, which is a lot of abilities for sure. It dodges your auxiliary dodges it, which is nice. And your Marshadow gets hit by it, but the Marshadow's there to get rid of the Catasquale before the Silent Lab goes down anyway. So
Marshadow's there for any of their stadiums.
Yeah.
And you're only actually using or being able to use the Marshadow's ability when they knock out the Silent Labs.
Yeah, okay.
So
you go Silent Lab, you attack, they go Catasquale, kill your Silent Lab, and then you go Marshadow, get their thing, and then play your second one.
Yeah.
Alright, and lastly we got some energy.
So we have 4 Double Dragon Energy. Double Dragon Energy can only be attached to Dragon Energy if they're attached
Dragon
to...
Pokemon?
Yeah, Dragon Pokemon,
okay.
Thank you. If they're attached to anything other than Dragon Pokemon, you must discard them from play.
Okay.
And they provide any type of energy, but only 2 at a time.
Nice.
So, for Arceus Dialga's Palkia GX attack, you only need 1 Double Dragon Energy.
That's sweet, and it gives the extra water for the GX attack. Nice.
And then Ultra Necrozma's attack, same thing. You can use it for 1 energy cost, doing 170 damage and discarding their energy.
Okay.
We have 2 Water Energy to round off the energy. That's for if you have it in your hand, you can use ADP's or Arceus Dialga Palkia's attack. Maybe to knock out a support Pokemon that they left up in the active, or even get a chip damage before they kill it.
So why specifically water energy? Why not like 1 water energy, 1 metal energy? Because like this counts as 2 colors, so it could be metal and that, so that could be blue. That doesn't matter. But if you wanted to, like, say you just can't draw the Guzma Double Dragon Energy or whatever, then having at least 1 of each, maybe you could attach to get the Ultra Creation.
Yeah.
I don't know. What I guess. What's the retreat cost on like
3.
Remoraid?
1.
1. What's the retreat cost on Necrozma?
3.
2. Okay. Do some... I wonder if you need the energy, because the Ultimate Ray, if you grab the 2 water energy, say the game goes like you need it, you're gonna grab you're gonna attach the Double Dragon to the ADP, you're gonna Altered Creation GX, and then maybe next turn, if you don't need to switch out, I guess that's when it comes up. You can put it onto the Ultimate Ray. But yeah, I guess it doesn't really matter if it's water or not. I guess it allows your Remoraid to ping in for... Oh, okay. Well, now it's colorless. Yeah, you can get rid of a stadium.
I mean, I've used Giant Pool before. You can, for 1 colorless energy, discard a stadium and play. But that's not...
Want to know... Oh, gosh. Well... Yeah, I don't know, because you could play, like, a Psychic and a Metal, but then you can't Ultimate Ray without putting 2 Double Dragons on it anyway. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it matters, I guess. I don't know if it matters. I guess it's kind of cool that maybe... Yeah, you can't even use any of the attacks. So I guess it really doesn't matter what color you play.
I think that...
I guess it has to be blue or metal, though, I think.
I mean, you could go Psychic and Metal, just in case you have to attach to Ultra Necrozma.
Yeah, that might be okay.
And then that could serve as the colorless for the ADP attack.
Yeah. But then even if you attach 1 for the colorless, the metal and the water from the double, then you only have 1 on that, so it's like, I don't know.
And it would even help with the retreat cost, so.
Would you consider cutting those for either like another special charge or, I don't know, like a Guzma? Because you have the Verse Seeker to give back. I don't know. That's something we'll test, and we'll see if that like change can be made or should be made. We don't even really know. But yeah, just something to think about, I guess. But how much have you played the deck online?
I've played it a decent amount.
Okay.
It's won a couple tournaments online. It's very consistent and streamlined.
Yeah, it looks very consistent. Very low Pokemon count. A lot of 4-ofs. A lot of 2-ofs for the cards that like matter.
Yeah.
Have you played against the Vileplume deck with this?
Yes, I have.
Is it bad?
Not particularly.
Okay. Because you have a lot of items. That's the only thing I'm
Yeah.
seeing. It's like 4, 8, 12, 16, 21,
You're not
22,
completely relying
it's like
on
32
items.
or something items, I think. I don't know.
It's
a
all
lot.
a matter and expanded about who goes second. So
Okay.
if you go second, you have a better chance of winning, I think, against the Vileplume deck. But if they go second, then you're probably toast.
Yeah. Okay.
It's actually a lot of fun to play online. It's also a lot of fun to play in real life, but I've had a particularly more amount of fun online because people aren't expecting you to have everything you need exactly when you need it, but that's the kind of deck this is.
But yeah, the way it's built, it's not really built to brick, really.
Yeah. I've actually never bricked, I think, with this deck.
Okay. Nice. Any kind of bad matchups, though? Like, there has to be... otherwise, the deck would be unbeatable. Like, are there any, like, bad matchups?
Other ADP decks, definitely.
Because your one prize doesn't matter?
Yes.
Okay.
So, other Archie-style Palkia decks, which aim as well to do the altered creation, you would get extra prizes for knocking out your one prizer.
Yeah.
So then they only have to go through 3 of them instead of 6.
Or they would only have to go through one of them and your ADP.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, the mirror match would be particularly hard.
Yeah, okay. And then any, like obviously the good matchups that, like, you go against are like, oh, this is almost free? Or is Expanded just crazy to where nothing is really...
I'd say Expanded is crazy, and there's nothing that's really completely free. But there's a lot of just good matchups overall because that people have to play Dedenne. They have to
draw.
play Crobat in order to draw. They can't just not play it. So
if you had a deck, and okay, you said this has won a couple tournaments online or whatever. Say this deck is a good portion of, like, the metagame for a specific expanded tournament you're playing in. Is there anything you can do to your deck to have a slightly better matchup against this, or do you just have to play, like, a completely different deck?
You can target their stadium.
Okay, so you need a lot of stadium removal.
Yeah.
So maybe multiple chaotic swells rather than just some decks playing one.
Because you can only get out of 2 chaotic swells with Field Power and Marshadow.
Yeah.
But that's still leaving you with 4 stadiums, which they can get rid of out of 2 chaotic swell.
Yeah.
Even if you play around them. So playing 4 chaotic swell, definitely something that could stop this.
Okay.
Or
what about, are there any spread decks?
Honchkrow. Honchkrow destroys this.
Okay. So what is, I don't know what Honchkrow does.
That's so annoying. I don't want to talk about it. Okay. So Honchkrow is another expanded deck. It's a little older, so less people are playing it. Okay. But it's a control deck. So Murkrow, you just go first. You have Murkrow in the active, and then you use Duskstone. Duskstone is a Pokemon item, so that you can use it first turn. It evolves one of your Pokemon, but it has to be a specific Pokemon, like Murkrow, Chandelure. It's specific.
So like some Dark and Ghost Pokemon? Yeah, okay.
And then Honchkrow GX, as long as its ability is as long as it's in your active spot, your opponent can't play Stadium, Special Energy, or Tool cards from their hand.
Oh boy.
And then for 3 energy, 2, I believe it's 2 colorless and 1 dark energy. It does 90 damage and then 30 to 2 of their bench Pokemon. So
yeah, you can't. How much HP does it have?
It has like 210.
Okay, so you don't have an out to that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just don't win against
that.
Because they want to go first, which is against everybody else in Expanded. So most of the time they're going to get what they want and go first. Because everybody else wants to go second. So
I feel like most people want to go second.
Yeah. And then they just evolve and you can't play Special Energy Stadiums or Pokemon Tool cards.
Yeah, so you have 1 turn to do anything.
Yeah, and you have to draw into Switch because you can't use Floatstone or Guzma.
Yeah.
But that's just a waste of those resources.
But yeah, so thank you very much for the deck profile. We'll have some games with it up soon. And maybe we'll do maybe do some changes or something like in the comments after we play test some or something. Maybe at the end of the playtesting video or whatever. But yeah, thank you very much. Hope you guys enjoyed. Bye.
Bye.